Alright, YouTube. Make another pointless fucking video that no one will watch. I guess I got a number of things to talk about today, but I just want to say this. I think, I know there's no point in doing this, and, it's very difficult sometimes to bring myself to even put in the effort. It's stressful, um, and you think you're making progress or something of that nature, and you're not. And my reward for my good intent, at least for the effort that I do put in, the reward that I get is being shitted on, being censored by people, being ignored, being muted, um, drinking problems, you name it. Why? Because I chose to try to care about this society and about what goes on in this society. And it's fucking pointless. It's pointless. It's a waste of my life, really. And I don't know. I'm really seriously thinking about this. I don't know, finding some kind of hobby and just not giving a shit anymore about your country or about what goes on or anything else. So yeah, and again, I like to share videos. I share other people's content. Why? Because I figured maybe you're getting tired of seeing my talking head in a camera every day in a dark room bitching about nonsense that I know you don't care about, and I know you don't care about me. And I figured maybe you're getting tired of that. And I like to also share other people's videos. I like to share other people's content and promote them because I like to help people, unlike any of you. And beyond that, I also like to share things I care about, things I like. I like to share music. I like to share, in addition to politics, I like to share music. And I used to like wrestling. I don't really care about it no more. But when I did, I would share it. I'd share different stuff that I care about and that I am interested in. And I told you all about the Mandela effect. That was something I was interested in that I wanted to talk more about and never got to because I was too worried about political issues and genital mutilation and whatever else goes on in this country. And it's such pointless shit. It's so fucking pointless to care. But I want to talk to you about something else. And really, I guess I want to talk about this first. Kind of do this in order, but it doesn't matter. I think what we have really in a lot of ways right now is a confused mass. We have a confused, kind of a brainwashed, confused mass of people. And I think you see this especially with men or with the males who don't know what they want and they don't know what direction they're going or why they're going in that direction. And I think what you have is a lot of right-wing, rattling drones like Alex Jones and like other people who are almost intentionally leading them in the wrong direction. And they keep telling you that you want to go back. Even Trump, his slogan was "Make America Great Again." And my question to you is, when was America ever great? Was it like 5 minutes after we wrote the Constitution, for the first 5 minutes of that? Was it when we drove out the Native Americans? Was it when we enslaved the blacks? Was it when you were arresting women in New York City for wearing pants outside of the home? Was it when you were experimenting on and trying to brainwash gay people? What point were we great? Was it Vietnam War? Was it the Vietnam War? When were we a great country? What was great about the country? Make us great again. At what point in my life or anyone else's have we ever been a great fucking country? In fact, if anything, we're probably better now than we were. But you're looking to the past rather than look forward, rather than look at, we can make things better and we can do things better and we can have a new society, new rules, a new culture, new ideals, new systems, new institutions. Let's not do that. Let's go back to the things that we were doing. If you look at circumcision or genital mutilation, when we begun doing that, when was that? Like the 40s, really around 1900, and it picked up more and more momentum. Probably peaked somewhere around the 70s. Now it's at about, since in the last decade, it's reached about 40 to 50%. The statistics are trying to hoard that it's between 80 to 89%. That's bullshit. If you've ever known a chick, or if a chick has ever fucked a dude who isn't cut, then it would be almost impossible if that was the actual statistics, because that's most of the country. And so it's impossible. So that's not the fucking statistics. That's what I'm saying. But And even at its most, it was never that high. It was around 70%. But that's irrelevant. That's not what I'm talking about. You want to go back to when you started doing that? You want to go back to what exactly? When were you great? When you were working in factories, making 10 cents an hour? Yeah, they weren't sending jobs overseas, and you didn't have immigrants taking your jobs. But the job, and you had all those jobs to work, and they all sucked, and you weren't being paid. You want to go back to that? If anything, the Mexicans should be mad because they're the ones having to work shit jobs for no money in this fucking hellhole you call a country. And then you want to kick them out after you get them to work your jobs all this time, and some of them have been here for decades. It's bullshit. And I'm gonna try to make the video and I'm gonna try to shut up and talk about the video. But I also think the media and drattling drones like The View, or Jor Behar, or whatever her name is, and idiots on TV that are like these supposed pseudo liberals and MSNBC and CNN. They're also trying to confuse you, and they're trying to almost make you think that you don't know if you want to move forward or go back. And they either want you to go back to, the woman get back in the kitchen and the man get back to work at the construction site, and everybody goes back to this boring traditional life where you have your path and your destiny chosen for you, and you all have to do this one thing or another, and you're all working for them and producing and consuming. And they either want you to do that, or they want to control and hijack the path forward into going forward, but in the wrong direction, where you're still a slave and you're even worse off maybe than you used to be. And they want you to go one way or the other. And then you have Alex Jones and all these idiots trying to tell you gays are your problem, trannies are your problem, Hispanic people are your problem, Muslims are your problem. Those are not your problem. Your problem is this corporate controlled, banker controlled government that is just eating you alive every day, and that is eating me alive from the inside out. My brain is literally just, I'm so sick of this country, and I'm so sick of trying my hardest to make people care about what I'm saying, and I'm getting nowhere. And then I get shitted on for giving a fuck. And yes, some of my videos are erratic, and maybe this one is. And some of it, I sound like an idiot, and I sound like a fucking emo kid or something. And I also sound like deranged, and I know some of what I say doesn't always make the most sense. But if you had to make videos after reading the articles and watching other videos and reading articles and learning stuff, and then you're getting frustrated and you're getting sick of this country and this culture, watching this shit, and you try to reach out to other people and no one ever reaches out back to you, that gets old. You get tired of doing that. And I really am trying, but I have always wondered why do people watch football, or not just football specifically, but I never really, that was one sport in particular I never understood or liked. In fact, they say in the course of an entire football game, the ball is only on the field for like 15 minutes in a game that can take three hours or more. And the ball is on the field for like 15 minutes. And those same people talk shit about wrestling and boxing and stuff like that. But meanwhile, you're watching a bunch of grown-ass, burly-ass man throw a ball around. I never have understood that, but I think I do understand now, because it is literally mindless. And if you can just get lost in watching these people throw a ball around, that is better. I would rather do that than give a fuck. I'm tired of giving a fuck at this point, because it's not doing any good, and people think I'm an idiot anyways. And I'm not helping anyone. I'm not helping kids. Hell, I'm probably doing the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I mean, that Brother K guy who hates my guts anyways, I might as well just be honest about shit, for whatever reason. You're walking around with a big red dot in your crotch and a white outfit. Do you know how many people you probably convinced to cut their kids just because they're like, well, if he's against it, it must be good? You're probably doing the opposite. And I'm sure he doesn't mean to. I was even starting to wonder if he is in controlled opposition, but I looked him up and he's the legit deal. He's the legitimate, but you still have to kind of wonder, like, he's kind of a weird guy, isn't he? And that's what I don't understand. I've even talked to people, like, I've not talked to them, but I've seen them on the internet where they were supporting circumcision. I don't mean to defend them, and I don't like them, but some people like that I've seen on the internet in places say he blocked them. There was some other guy, and I don't know if he was being sarcastic or what. I thought he liked me. I don't even know if this guy liked me, but or maybe he's just sick of me. I don't know, but he said he was blocked by him. He told me that, we agree on the issue. I guess we agree about genital mutilation, but he was blocked. I've been blocked. I have been blocked by him. So he's a very thin-skinned individual, and that's not a genital mutilation joke. Believe me, if nothing else, after the time and effort I have put into genital mutilation, I don't want to make a joke about it, I can assure you. But still, he's a thin-skinned individual. But that's not even the point. Once again, that's not the point. And again, that's what I don't understand. Oh, why would you go and toss porn? Oh, to be humiliated. And I don't see how that helped you. But whatever. It's just that's not the point. What was the point? It's just I get tired of curing, and it's like I'm not having a positive effect. And now this video, I'm almost half done with the video. I've not even made my damn porn. Where I've not even talked about any of the actual issues I wanted to get to today. But it's just such bullshit, and it's just what pisses me off, and what really makes me kind of sick is I know the more I try, that it's just the futility of it. And it's a futility that causes apathy, and it also causes about a certain amount of despair. It's hopeless, and it's like I'm working my ass off, and I know no one gives a shit. So there's that. Let's get on to the issues to talk about. There was a transgender guy. I'm not sure. I think it was in the UK. I know this happens a lot in the UK for some reason. It might be in America. And keep in mind, look, I know that maybe I'm talking too much about genital mutilation in the transgender issue, but I do care a lot about transgender rights because, like I said in the past, it's something I can relate to because I do have a certain amount of gender dysphoria and I always have. And also, I think that I might have even had more in the past, but also I think that it just represents what I'm talking about with the right ring, and not just the right ring, but the right ring wanting to control you and wanting to destroy and stamp out individuality and stamp out individuality. And again, they talk about don't tread on me. Well, they mean them. They don't care about you. They don't care about treading on your constitutional rights. They don't care about you at all. Or they wouldn't take so much concern into bullshit issues like this. And I'm not particularly concerned with this specific issue even, but they want to talk. If they want to talk about it, then let's talk about it. Let's have a frank discussion about what's going on in the world and about what goes on, and about how you are oppressing transgender people, and about how the right wing is pushing for the oppression of these people, and how it's none of their business if someone else wants to identify as a certain gender. But there was a transgender person who wanted, I guess, hair racks from his genitals, and I'm guessing he had not had his cock cut off. I'm guessing. So I guess that's now a bad thing. So I guess he should have to now go through surgery and cut off his dick in order to be transgender, because that's what you think he should do to be that. And we know Alex Jones himself, and I talked about this, said that in order for a transgender person to play sports, they should have to have a sex change operation. Well, again, that's all fine and dandy if a transgender person wants to do that, but plenty don't. And that doesn't mean they're a man. It just means they don't have to chop off part of their body because you think they should be something you think they should be. No, they're trying to be what they are. That's part of the point. It's not to kiss your ass. Just like I'm not here to kiss your people's ass. I'm not here to kiss Brother K's ass. I'm not here to kiss any liberal's ass. I wasn't here to kiss the Democratic Party's ass. I'm here to tell you the truth and give you my opinion about shit. My educated, well-informed opinion that I have researched for many, many fucking years about shit. But you just cannot stand the fact that maybe other people want to do things their way and not be controlled by a fucking overbearing system that is just stomping down on them and their rights. But they also said at the end of it, he has been accused of being a sex offender. Didn't say he was one. And again, that's not even relevant to this story, but he's not one. They say that about everyone. I think he wanted to put together a swim practice for female children, a swim practice, the same thing other people do. But because he's transgender, they're trying to say that's sex offender, or that's a sex offense. All because he's transgender. They say the same thing about drag queens that have any association with children or kids, or if they read a story to kids, they say that's a fucking sex offender. They say that about everyone because they're transgender, so that's their way of smearing things. That's a smear campaign. That's an attack. It's a ad hominem attack. And they're doing the same damn thing they accuse liberals of doing when they overuse the word racist or they overuse the word sexist. You say, well, you're that's an ad hominem attack, and you're labeling people and you're overusing it. And you're doing the same damn thing. You're doing the same thing you accuse other people of and you have been accusing them of. And you're seeing this how corrupt and crooked the Republican Party is. And Alex Jones, I'm sorry, whatever he used to be, whatever good he used to do in the world, he's not doing that anymore. He's just another talking head. And again, I would know something about that, obviously. But he's another fucking pundit, Republican talk pundit, and right-wing nut job. And the fucking Democrats were right about him. He's fake information. He's disinformation. He's false info. And he's lying to people. Now, I still think he should have a right to say what he wants. And if people are stupid enough to listen to him, that's their problem. But he's a fucking bullshit artist. And he does spread hate, and he spreads fear, and he's promoting fear. It's fear and propaganda. He's a fear-mongering whore of a man. I'm sorry, but he is. That's what this is. And then it says something about the court is, I guess, in another country is allowing, it's not forcing, that's misinformation. It's allowing a child to undergo a sexual reassignment surgery. I guess because the child wants to, where it's not going, he's not doing that actually. It's a chemical castration. So I guess from what I've learned about that recently, that's not actual castration, but I still don't agree with that. And I wouldn't let the child do that. I don't think he's old enough to make that decision because this is a 7-year-old. He's not old enough to make a decision like that. But then again, you know what? I would say the same thing about circumcision. I don't think you're old enough to decide that. Funny how these not liberal, but conservative, some of them too, but these conservative Republican blowhards never seem to give a rat's ass or a fuck about that. They don't want to talk about that. But then they want to talk about, won't you please think of the children? Oh, how many children. Bullshit. You don't give a fuck about children. You never have given a fuck about children. You don't even give a fuck about your children. You're a bunch of fucking lying ass motherfuckers. You damn push children and you use them as a human shield to get what you want. And every time any attack against you is thrown against you, you try to block that with children. You are the proverbial metaphorical equivalent of Hamas using children as human shields. You're doing that in a metaphorical way, where every goddamn thing that is about you, you try to make that about kids. You're lying ass fuckheads. And speaking of Hamas, there was a Muslim. I saw this in the news, and I'm not a fan of Islam, and I personally don't agree with this either. And I don't like them any more than I do Judaism or Christianity. But they don't want to give Muslims now the right to certain religious functions at work so that they can rearrange their day to engage in their religion. But yet these same Christians are the same cocksuckers, and Jewish people too, constantly use religion as a fucking excuse to do what they want to do. And they're always talking about and yapping on about religious freedom or freedom of religion. But then when these Muslims want religious freedom, and it would be the same thing for a Buddhist or any other person, they don't want to give that to them because they're complete hypocritical assholes. But that's not the point. The point is you're all very confused. Your leaders are confused. You're all incompetent. The blind are leading the blind, and you have let the blind lead the blind, and you're going nowhere. You're walking off a fucking. You're all walking off a mountain together, and that's the thing for you to do. Just follow your leader, follow the idiot in front of you, and leave me the fuck alone. I'll still continue to give my opinion, and I will express myself. But if you want to hate me, hate me. I don't give a fuck anymore. But I'm not going to kiss your ass. But I am sorry. I'm sorry for giving a fuck too much of a fuck when none of you do. And I'm sorry for not kissing your asses. P666.